Now we.
It's weird that it's flipped, right?
A little. Are there already people?
Hey, Mike. All right, I guess we're just flipped. We have to say that way. We're a little bit annoyed because we're realizing that we look mirrored on on the screen. It's distracting a little bit. Is it as cold as you thought it would be down here? I think it's actually not bad.
Yeah, no.
Like, I'm fairly comfortable.
Cold.
Yeah.
Did you ever get that nasty smell out from the interior?
Did we ever get the nasty smell out of the interior? Yeah, the nasty smell.
It's better.
And yeah, I mean, it still smells a little bit on this side of funky, but probably just a little bit more old, maybe musty a little bit. But it was really that carcass and nest that were in the heater box.
Cleaned that.
Yeah. Yeah, so once Declan got that vacuumed out, the smell completely went away.
Yeah, it was gone.
Yeah. Thank God, because that was awful. Hey, Daryl. Good evening.
Oh, the yee guy.
Hey, Roy, the yee guy. How's it going? Good evening. Yeah, well, thank you guys for showing up. We're really glad to see that so many of you have popped in. We were sort of joking together that we might see like 2 people on here, and they would probably both be our friends or relatives. Yeah. We know it's hard to get people to pop in for a live. It's not always a thrill, but we're going to try to do the best we can to keep you guys entertained here. So I guess we'll start with the reason why we're doing the live today and not a pre-recorded video. There's 2 reasons. One is we sort of just got the live thing unlocked on YouTube. I didn't even realize it was locked, but it's now open to us. So, and I just found that out a couple of weeks ago. But the other is that we normally do our work on the weekends because it's really hard for us to do them at night. We typically try to keep from doing stuff at night. And this past weekend was a mess. We had a lot of family commitments on Saturday, and I had a lot of other commitments on Sunday that just sucked my whole day away. So we did not get an opportunity to get out here and really do anything to the cars. I bugged Declan on Wednesday night. I was like, do you want to go out and maybe tear that engine apart? Take a couple hours to do that. But in fairness, it was cold. It was cold here. It's cold inside the garage. So we passed on it, and we said, you know what, we're going to do the live because we know that people will have questions, and maybe we can answer them and get through that stuff. So that's why we're doing the live here, and hopefully we can answer some of your questions that you might have about us or the cars. And we're seeing the comments come up here, so we'll try to get at them. Yeah, the ozone machine comment. Yes, there's been plenty of people that have recommended the ozone machine. I might actually get one for my truck, but I don't know that I would do it for this. It's fine now. I think by the time we actually just give it the final wipe down and put in the new stuff, it's going to be okay. It was rotting animal.
Yeah, it was rank.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. But once we removed all that material, it's fine. So it's really not bad anymore. Mike's got a question for you.
Wonder how Declan decided on a Camaro made before he was born. Honestly, I just wanted to look for a car that was. People are gonna get annoyed because it was probably made while they were still alive. But I wanted a slightly older car, and I liked this type of cars, so I looked more into the same body cars, and then saw this that came up.
And we looked, in fairness, at like 2nd generation Camaros that were older than us, so you didn't really care for them, right?
Yeah.
And you really didn't like the 4th gen Camaros. They were too bubbly.
They did too soon. It's like early CGI for me. Yeah. It's like they were not quite there yet.
Yeah. You have that. He tends to have kind of an affinity for like the mid 80s cars that have like the real angularity to them. So I think that's where that comes from. The IROC is 1988. So we're both, I think, sort of slowly picking up on the details that tell us what years they are, because they all look the same.
Fourth gen Camaro looks like a jelly bean.
It does. It is. It's like a two-door jelly bean. That's true. Yeah, and some of them worse than others. Yeah, I've seen. Sometimes they can look good, but like I wasn't sad when you said you didn't like the fourth gens. I was okay with that. Scotland, holy cow! We really got somebody from Scotland. That's pretty awesome. Happy to have you. That's awesome. That's fantastic. Welcome from Scotland. That's pretty cool. Scotland is definitely a place that I would like to get to and see one of these days.
Like Mom. And the UK. Someone from the UK.
What's your drink of choice to celebrate when you finish the IROC? What is your drink of choice going to be to finish the IROC?
Water. Lemonade.
Yeah. My water will probably be browner. It'll probably be a bourbon. I'm a bourbon fan.
Unless we finish this in like 6 years.
Yeah, I hope it's not late enough for bourbon to be your drink when we finish the car. It better not be, right? And Hephaestus, hey, from the UK, are you going to keep the engine standard when rebuilt? So I don't know what you mean by standard. So the car is an automatic. So in case we were talking about the transmission, it is an automatic. We are keeping it automatic. We're not going to change that. And by the way, like if it was a stick, we would have kept it a stick too. I don't want to change it over. It seems like we have enough stuff to do without messing with that. The plan with the engine at the moment is to take the 350 that's in my Chevelle now and pull it and put a new Blueprint crate engine in the Chevelle, which is something that I've been wanting to do for the Chevelle for a while. That 350 is fine. It's not hurt or anything. And then plug that 350 into the Camaro. Right now, I'm sort of investigating the challenge of how we do that because I would like to keep the TPI setup and like to try to keep that Camaro, like, I don't want to say stock, but as close to its condition that it's in now as we can. And so that means leaving the computer and keeping all that wiring and stuff intact. And in order to do that, I know that we're going to have to take the heads off the 305 and move those over to the 350. Once we do that, we're probably going to end up changing out to a roller cam system on the 350, and that means a bunch of changeover stuff. So I'm trying to do the research and to figure out exactly what I have to switch over to. I know there's tons of people that have done just this before, so it's not like we're the first people thinking of it. It's just a matter of getting all my research together to make sure I understand exactly what we have to get and do. But yeah, that's the plan, is that hopefully when we put it back together, it should look the same it did before we took it apart, roughly, without the smog pump stuff, because it's broken.
Yeah,
that's broken. Hey, Teresa. Hey, how are you? Let's see. Yeah. Oh, are you talking about somebody said catfish, and you talk about the front end of those Camaros. Those fourth gen Camaros do have kind of a catfish like grill thing that's a little bit weird looking too.
Weird.
Yeah. Then you're not going to see anything but that when you see it. Yeah. Did we expect that engine would throw up the surprise that it did? Absolutely not. I was expecting, I mean, there was metal in the pan, so I was expecting something to be worn, but honestly, I was kind of expecting like a collapsed lifter or something else to sort of chew itself up a little bit.
I didn't even know what to expect because I don't know what they look like normally. So when I saw that cracked, I was like, oh, that's definitely the problem. And you were like,
yeah, it's
I guess it's worse.
It's pretty bad. We have plans this weekend to take the engine apart because I really want to get that thing out of there. That's going to be a new that'll be going on my desk because that is carnage. Like, I mean, I've seen carnage like that, like come out of race motors, but not something like this. We're pretty sure that it hydrolocked. So that my buddy Mike, who's on the chat now, and I have been talking about it. We were just talking about it last night. I'm fairly sure that it was hydrolocked. It's the only thing that really makes sense for how badly it's mangled. And I don't think either one of us is believing that it was hydrolocked because somebody was booting the thing up to 8,500 RPM. I think it's probably hydrolocked either because it got some water in there or because it has a stuck open fuel injector on that cylinder. So we're going to try to figure that out. I might, hook up a battery to those fuel injectors and do a little testing on them, see if it's stuck wide open. I'm just curious more than anything else. It's not like it's going to fix anything. But yeah, it's pretty bad. That was not expecting that kind of carnage. That was kind of awful. And yes, F4 Easy 2, yeah, we did figure out the motor route. We are planning to stick with the 350 and move the TPI and the 305 heads over. There's more that has to be done to make that happen, but that's the current plan. And we'll do as little to that 350 as we can possibly get away with to get it moved over. Yeah, so keep that engine tune port. Your kid is going to have the coolest car in school. He is going to have the coolest car in school.
And the last person who got coolest car for superlatives also had a Camaro. So
she did, yeah. It was a 5th gen Camaro, though, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
A new one. And they're on the street too.
Yeah, they live on the same street.
That would be weird. That's going to be like
there's something going on with the street.
Weird that it happened twice.
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty well set up. I think he knows how pretty well set up.
And they also have a 3rd gen Camaro in the garage.
Yeah, that's
covered by all the stuff.
Yes,
I think it's actually out now.
Oh, really?
In the driveway.
Oh,
it's still covered in stuff though.
Oh, all right. Well, I'm gonna have to see. I'm curious if they can get that thing running. Yeah, how many miles on this? I think we're at. I think it's 86 or 87,000 miles, something like that. It's not. It's under 100, and it's legit under 100. I mean, we did a Carfax report on it that gave us a fair amount of information. The car was pretty much one owner from 88 until like 2013. And between 2013 and when we got it, only 2,000 miles went on the car. And that's like documented from the stickers. So the Carfax gives us the mileage every time I got an inspection sticker. So, and the rest of the car sort of, there's no way this is 186, right? It didn't spin. So it's definitely like an 86, 87,000 mile car. Love the further sun bonding with the build. Looking forward to seeing the rest of the build. Yeah, thanks. However long it takes. Hopefully, Jesse, it is not going to take that long. So the real hope is that we're ready for. I mean, I'd love to be ready in April. If there's any possible way that we can actually get it running and driving and operating by then, because I'd like for you to be able to drive it on your permit.
Okay.
So that you can kind of get used to driving this, because
instead of like the Subaru,
it drives so much different than a newer car. So and you kind of have to get used to that.
Yeah.
So I'd like you to get used to it as soon as we can. So that's the hope. But it's starting to get cold here, so it makes us very, very aware of how little we're actually going to be able to do, like inside over the winter. There's a lot of stuff that we really can't do very effectively. So we're going to try to be strategic with the jobs that we do inside here to keep the ball moving. And then as soon as things start to perk up and warm up a little bit, it opens the door for more stuff that we can do. Like anything that requires like painting, or a lot of hands-on work where you really don't want to be wearing gloves. That's tough for us to do in the winter. This basement, this garage is under the house, so it doesn't usually get crazy cold. But you guys are seeing the insulated wall behind us. That's against the house. The other two walls are not insulated. I'm hoping to take care of that actually in the next couple of weeks to insulate them and put board up. But there's no heat down here. So the best we're going to do is just maybe not freeze to death, just a little hypothermia.
How do you insulate the walls?
You roll out insulation, and then we put we're going to put oriented strand board, which is basically what's on the outside of the house.
Oh, you make it sound easy.
Yeah.
So why didn't you do it before?
It's because while the actual act is easy, we have to take all this crap down off the walls.
Yeah, well, before there wasn't that crap on the walls.
Yeah, I didn't envision working out here that much when we first moved into the house. So that's part of the issue. And so Hephaestus, yeah, hopefully we answered your question, but yeah, we're not really expecting to do a lot of engine mods. We're not going crazy. It's his first car.
Hephaestus, a Greek god.
He's gonna be, he's gonna be the only 16-year-old kid in town with a red IROC Camaro. He's already gonna have a target on his back. we don't need to give him anything that's more powerful than what he can handle. So we're not going to go with mods right now. Mods will be for later when he's off his junior operator's permit. He can go then. Oh, Zach's got a good question.
What's been your favorite part of the project so far? I know a lot of people like working on engine stuff, but I like more the cleaning stuff because I'm one of those people that when I get into cleaning, I like making it like perfect. So I liked cleaning the chairs and making sure that they were clean and putting the covers on them.
Yeah.
And cleaning the dashboard because I wanted to see what was in there and it was kind of annoying me.
You did a good job in the engine compartment too. You got into that.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. But that was also cleaning it.
Yeah.
I like the cleaning.
You've gotten better though since we started, and I mean, really, it's only been a couple of months, in terms of like self-starting when we start working on stuff. Because like when we first started this, you had no idea what to do, and you needed me to tell you like every little thing.
Yeah, I feel more comfortable with the car now.
Yeah.
Because I think before I was like worried about like I'll do one thing and like ruin the car. The car's like already the car can't move, so there's not much I can ruin right now.
Yeah, it's pretty far ruined. So it can only get better from here. So yeah, and it's yours at the end of the day.
At the end of the day, it's yours.
Well, yeah. I mean, technically,
during the day, it's mine.
Legally, yes, it's mine, but realistically, you're the guy driving it, and you're the guy who's going to be taking care of it. Yeah, let's see more names here. I can't read with all these. So Bosmer from Canada. Hello to Canada. And Swizzle Stick. Yeah, you had three 5th gen Camaros. Well, you want to give us one of those 5th gen Camaros? That'd be cool. The 5th gens are pretty awesome. I've only had the opportunity to drive a 5th gen. I haven't owned one, but they're pretty awesome cars. I wouldn't mind having one of those.
I've only seen one.
Sam Haynes, I take it that the bodywork is good and the paint looks immaculate from what I've seen. No, so you might want to watch the very first video. The paint is not immaculate.
It wasn't the water.
Yeah, when you get it like good and soaking wet, and then you stand back and you squint and then put a little soap in your eye, then the paint's spot on and perfect. No, this car had the same problem that like a lot of 80s GM cars had, which is that the clear coat just flat out sucked. So the clear coat's flaked off of the entire car, which has baked a lot of the paint. So what do you think? It's probably gone in about half the car.
Yeah.
The clear coat.
Well, like the top.
And then any surface that's like horizontal where the clear coat came off, the paint has actually kind of like baked off down to the primer. So it's going to need a full paint job. But we're going to plan on just doing it as a straight respray, so it'll just be the same color that goes over it. So we do have to sand the paint down and get it ready for paint at some point. Other than that, it's really only a couple of dents. There's a crease in the nose on the passenger side that got hit pretty hard. But I've got show us.
Oh, you just had that sitting there.
My brother-in-law owns a body shop, and he was like, I don't even use this thing anymore. So why don't you borrow this? This is his stud gun. So we're going to use this in a coming video to try to pull out that crease in the nose. We can actually get to it from the other side now since we took the nose off. So we probably don't even need to do it that way, but we're going to give it a shot. It's probably going to be faster to pull out. So the body's close to, the body's good. There's only a couple of dings that we have to worry about pulling out, but the paint is atrocious. So yeah, that needs to be gone through. Bozeman, yeah, 350 is an absolute classic. Yeah, you can't really get more like standard than a 350 Chevy, right? And it's pretty solid, so it should be good. And I think in this system with the TPI, it's going to be fine for what he's driving around with, because the TPIs, these motors in general, were known for torque for a low end. So they top out really early, so they have a low max RPM, and their horsepower isn't great. But again, it doesn't matter that much.
Yeah.
You're not going to quarter mile this thing, right?
It would be bad if it did.
But it's going to sound mean coming out of the parking lot. If that's what you want.
Yours sounds mean coming out. At least I know when you come home. It's
Yeah, we put those resonator tips on the Chevelle, and man, that thing woke up like you wouldn't believe. It was like we just changed the entire exhaust system. It's so much louder and cooler sounding now. It's amazing. Nitrous is a minor mod. Yeah, that's Mike stirring up trouble. Yeah, it might be a minor mod for somebody else to do. I'm not putting nitrous on this car for him. That's insane.
like Forza. I crash in them.
I suppose it's like better get an Alpine head unit. We haven't really talked about radios for this. What are you thinking you want to do about radios?
What do you mean?
So the car originally has just an AM FM radio with a tape deck. And since you're fairly short on cassette tapes,
I have like one. I don't even know what of.
It's probably like a Care Bears tape or something.
Yeah, I think I got it from Grampy's house. And I think it might be Gangster's Paradise.
Nice.
From Mom.
Nice. So that's old school. So you can get an aftermarket radio with a bigger screen, which is like really modern. You can also get one that's sort of a retro look that actually has Bluetooth that you can pair your radio to. Yeah. We're actually going to have to look at it because so in the state of Mass, you until you're 18, you're on a junior operator's license, and part of being on a junior operator's license means that you literally cannot use any other device in the car. No GPS system, no phone, nothing. And it's not a hands-free thing. So you literally can't have the phone in use. So you can't have it airplayed to, well, you actually can airplay it to a radio.
Can?
Yeah, but you can't touch the phone. So the phone has to be locked away. So we're going to have to look at what we can do because I think a normal Bluetooth radio might be tough. Yeah. So,
I mean, it's only like a 5-minute drive to school anyway.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that. But when you do have to drive other places, which you will do. But yeah, we'll figure that out. We're going to have to figure out what to do for a radio head unit and what you're going to want to do. Declan is a future detailer. Yeah, I think you probably are. I think that's probably where you like. That's where your sweet spot might be. You do like detailing stuff.
I do like detailing stuff.
Yeah. That's one of his favorite ways to sort of earn some extra bucks around the house is like reorganizing closets and pantries and stuff like that. He does like the fridge. Yeah. Yeah, which that's coming up too. You can do that for us again.
Dude, that thing's disgusting. The fridge, whenever I clean it, it will be like, what is that? Is that cheese fused with celery?
Always something odd that gets missed in there that just breeds. What do you plan to do in the Malibu when you take the 350 out? Zach is asking. So Zach, we're going to put in a 383 stroker motor from Blueprint Engines. That is the current plan. So the 383 stroker, still a small block. So it should be an even switch into that thing. It's rated at about 430 horsepower or so. So that car, everything in the car should still be able to handle that as long as I'm not an idiot. And I drive like an old lady, so I don't think it's going to be really an issue.
Old lady with anger issues.
So I think it should be fine. And we're going to get that sort of basically ready to go, like water pump on it, harmonic balancer on it, like all ready to go, turnkey. So yeah, we're actually going to start looking into that pretty soon for when that comes in, because I would like to try to get the 350 out of this one now so that we can start to do the work switching pieces over in the basement over the winter, because the basement's not as bad as the garage. So if we can get that out of there, we might be able to do something. But we're so late in the car season right now that I'm sort of figuring as soon as we pull the engine out of the Chevelle, we're done for the season. So I'm just kind of looking to double check and make sure that I'm done for the season before I do that. There's at least in New England, I don't know what it's like for you guys in the rest of the world, but in New England, the car shows go crazy in the fall. They're like every weekend, sometimes 2 or 3 or 4 of them that you get to choose from in the weekend. And they're still going strong. We got 2 this weekend that we're going to. So those IROC stickers are not cheap. Yeah, there's not a lot that is cheap with the IROC.
It does have champion in the name.
Yeah, it's kind of a pain. It's not. I'm used to the Chevelle, where like you can literally build another Chevelle out of a catalog. I can get everything I want for that. The only thing that's really annoying is the Malibu specific stuff, like Malibu specific trim. Um, but everything else, like you can get easily, and it's not too crazy expensive on its own. But I'm finding that it's a lot harder to get stuff for the IROC, which is kind of a bummer. But I guess it's just not old enough yet.
I guess you'd like to think that, huh? How long ago is it? Actually, it's not really that old.
It's like what, 34, 36?
36.
36 years old. Yeah. David, I almost thought that it was David Geffen, but David Griffith. I love watching you guys. Mostly the patience and explaining. How patient am I usually, Declan?
On a scale of 1 to 10, maybe 5. It depends.
I think
on
you're
your
being
mood.
generous.
Sometimes you'll like tell me and then do it, and that's honestly more helpful because I know I need to know like what to do.
Yeah.
But also have it be told to me.
Yeah.
Because I need to see visuals.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I may not know what to do.
We get kind of a lot of criticism sometimes in the comments about like, back off, Dad. Just let him do it.
There's a lot less nowadays.
It's getting a little bit better. One of the things you have to sort of remember though is that there is a certain amount of that. There, like I get like in my own way and I get charged up about stuff, but Declan is an awful lot like me. So that's one of the ways that I learn best is by having something explained to me and then watching it be done and then getting a chance to do it myself. And so that I kind of try to do that for him most of the time. And I still give him a chance to do something, but sort of show him an example first so that he can watch.
It's the whole family tree in the comments.
Yeah, the whole family's here. Tire fires. Yes. So this one's got a posi. My car doesn't have a posi. I'm annoyed about that.
What's posi?
We're going to have to fix that. Posi is short for posi traction, which is Chevrolet's limited slip differential, which feels like maybe an opportunity for me to do like a video segment later on to sort of show you what posi traction is. There's believe it or not, like the best videos that I've seen to explain what a limited slip differential is and how a differential works are from like the 50s. They're black and white, like newsreel style videos that are done with like models that they made. They're brilliant. I'm going to have to find them now and like post links to it to show you guys. But like they do the trick. They really explain by showing you what's going on, how they work. Because honestly, trying to just explain those without a visual, it's like black magic. But when you see it working, it makes total sense. F4 easy to you did miss it. So yes, it would be a new motor for the Chevelle. That would be a 383 stroker from Blueprint that we're going to plan on putting in it. Todd Prater, is your Chevelle an original 350 car or a big block 396 car? It is originally a 350 car. Best I can tell from looking at all the numbers in it, the VIN will only tell me that it was an 8-cylinder. And that's a Malibu Sport Coupe. But looking at the rear end and a couple of other number designations, all of that indicates that it was a 350, probably with a 2-barrel when it started off life. And it was definitely a Malibu when it started off life. You got to get some sort of exhaust to appreciate the sound of a V8. Yeah, we got to explore the exhaust thing on this car too. The exhaust confuses me on this. I'm so used to just like a straight up like dual exhaust on a V8, and you don't do that on these because it comes from the headers to a Y pipe that goes into a cat and then goes out to a muffler with a double tailpipe. It's confusing to me. I got to look into that a little bit more, but I figure it feels right now like we're 1,000 miles away.
Yeah,
from exhaust.
But I feel like this is going to be one of the things where like it feels like we're super far away and suddenly we're close.
Yeah.
But like you won't like really notice getting closer.
Yeah. Yeah, it does feel like it's probably going to like ramp up on us pretty fast. Jonathan Lawson, yeah, we're doing good tonight. So thanks for joining us. Really, I got to be honest, I'm really tickled that this many people are here. I quite literally expected this to be probably a dozen people sitting here listening to us windbags from this windbag going. So yeah, I'm really pleased to have you guys. Yeah, wireless CarPlay. Thank you, Swizzlestick. That was the thing that I was thinking. There's you can get radio head units that have wireless Apple CarPlay.
Is that what you
So
have?
your phone can kind of be like in your pocket or in the console, and it's still connected to the radio, and all your interactions are through the radio.
Oh, so that counts.
So that's legal.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
because you can interact with the radio.
They
You
just
can't.
don't want you looking at your phone.
You can't interact with a third-party piece of machinery in the car. So you can't have a separate GPS. You can't have your phone giving you map information, but you can interact with the radio.
Okay.
Yeah, it's confusing, but like I get it. I understand why they do that, but it makes it really hard to navigate. Like literally how to navigate the rules. Never mind navigating roads. I just looked up a sniper. Was this from Bozeman? Just looked up a sniper EFI system for a Chevy 350 V8. Slightly less than $1,500 from Summit Racing. Yeah, so there's an interesting thing about that. So I did consider just sort of pulling the 350 straight and just throwing it in here even carbureted, and not even putting the sniper system on, or putting a sniper system on it. Maybe that still goes. I think the thing that's still getting me hung up is that if I go and do that, I'm basically eliminating all the computer system in the car. And not that there's a sophisticated computer system in this car, but there is computers. And I'm just a little bit antsy about removing too much stuff from the car and getting too far away from what its original content was. It's still not off the table. So we might go that route. If I were to take the engine at 350 out of there as it is now, I'd be super tempted, if we weren't going to use the TPI, to throw a sniper system on it. The sniper's a throttle body fuel injection system, so it'll make it a little bit more reliable, especially for you driving all season. So yeah, that's it's on the table, but it's not my first choice right now. Jonathan Lawson says he's got tons of third-gen parts he'll donate. Nice. Well, so let us know what you got, or maybe we should let you know what we still need. Yeah, because we do have to go through like an inventory. We have we've pulled so many parts and pieces out of the back of this car when we first got it, because the interior was all disassembled, and then we've pulled so much stuff off of it since then that we've got like up a corner of the basement that's full of it. So I think one of the things we'll end up doing this winter is sort of hauling that stuff in the house and trying to clean it up as best we possibly can, and then take like an inventory of what we need to replace and what's still good. I think we really kind of need a new dash, but I don't know if it's going to be easy to get a new dash. I haven't been able to see like the whole dash assembly. I haven't really seen those for sale anywhere, but maybe.
People want to know what you do for a living.
What do I do for a living?
Like people asking.
So see, I'm missing these, or maybe it's going too fast. What I do for a living? I do very boring stuff. I work in marketing. Specifically, I work in displays, retail displays, and planning for retail displays. Yeah. So wake up. Yeah. So I don't want to say the company that I work for, but it's a fairly large company located here in Mass, and I've been there for a long time. So that whole I've been doing that line of work for a very long time. So it has nothing to do with cars. I would love to work in the car field, but just hasn't played out that way. So not very exciting. Sorry. Get all your stickers if you repaint from Phoenix Graphics. They have just the IROC stickers of the whole complete set. It's cool. Phoenix Graphics. We'll have to, write it down so we have that remembered.
Phoenix Graphics.
Hey, Mary Lou. Hey, gotta say, I like your music selection. Thank you. The music selection is kind of a tough one. So if you don't know, anytime you put anything out on YouTube, especially since it's technically monetized, you have to be very careful about what you put on, because if you can't put licensed music on there, because then you'd have to pay copyright fees. So you can choose music from YouTube that's sort of license free, but you have to sift through an awful lot of like pretty lame music to find the ones that we did.
Monkeys
So
spinning monkeys. I know that's one of them.
it's pretty bad. So we've tried to curate a few that we think are pretty good and try to keep it changing up a bit. But you'll notice if you listen to enough YouTube or watch enough YouTube channels, you hear the same music over and over because most of us are pulling from that same pool. And Charles, FYI, you can put the TPI fuel injection system on the 350 from the Chevelle using an 85 to 86 intake base. Yeah, that's true. So if we had a TPI from an 85 or 86, we could put that on the existing old school perimeter bolt head style heads. This is an 88 style, so it does use the center bolt heads. So it is a little different. My understanding is we could still probably like hog out the holes on the intake to make it work too. But the truth is, I think it's going to be a little bit better if I try to set that 350 up as close to what a real 350 out of this car would have been, because I just think we're going to be better off with all the computers and all that stuff, because we can get chips for it then that will help run it and should be okay. But again, still sort of looking into that to figure out what I really need to do. And I'm sort of, I've been casually looking so far. I haven't looked hard, but I'm looking for something that has like pretty specific information about what I need and all the specs. Trying to lost again. Look and see what RPO codes are. It could have a posi or a limited slip. Yeah, this does have a posi. So we did find that out. We can't find the RPO codes. The RPO codes are supposed to be inside the console. They were ripped out of this one. So we were never able to find those, but did look up the VIN numbers, and based on the model of this car, they all came with a posi. So we're pretty confident that it's a posi. Now that you have us on TV, so Sam Hain can now see the clear coat damage behind you. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I mean, when we were power washing this thing, it was like some of it was coming off in sheets, which was it was kind of cool and then kind of horrifying at the same time. So yeah, it's pretty bad. Oh yeah, another person asking if I work in the auto. I do not work in the automotive industry. Unfortunately, I do kind of wish that I did work in the automotive industry. I worked in the automotive industry in a place where I could actually get discounts on stuff that we really need. That would make things a lot easier. Like maybe a job at Summit, that might be helpful if I could pull that off. But
qualifications.
No, I don't.
Like you can like
hey, marketing's marketing, baby. I can take that wherever. Yeah. Top producers, make sure you choose the right sets. Phoenix Graphics 85 to 87 black part of the stripes on the bottom. Yeah, so this is an 88. So yeah, the 88, 89, 90. It's the black stripe. Actually, you can kind of see it here. It's the black stripe is over the silver stripe. In 85 and 86, the silver stripe is over the black stripe. Also, the IROC sticker is on the back of the door. In the 88, the earlier models, it's actually on the forward part of the door. So there's a couple of little details like that quite frankly, when you think about what those details are that they changed, it's almost like Chevy was screwing with us just to confuse people or just to give them a way to identify one year from another, because they're not major differences and they don't really terribly affect the look of the car. So I don't know why they made them. But yeah, we're going to be careful to look at those. Yes, Summit sells a kit where you drill out the intake bolt holes and there's little inserts used on the intake to make it work. Oh, okay. So there's actually a kit for drilling out that intake. I will have to look at that because that might be easier. F4 EZ2, what are our dream cars? Why don't you tell dream cars first?
I saw that and immediately looked it up.
You started looking them up?
The exact names. I'm gonna be basic. And Ferrari, I don't even know how to say
Ferrari's basic?
Well, like people like love Ferrari and like Lamborghini and stuff.
Yeah, okay.
I think Lamborghini is more basic because I remember all the YouTubers.
Yeah, basic.
SF90 Straddle? I don't know. Stradale.
I would say Stradale.
Stradale.
Mm-hmm. So well, they are Italian.
Yeah. I should have expected that. Anything Ferrari.
Yeah, you're
SF90 Spider.
Yeah. So if you don't know already, I think we've talked about. I don't know if we've edited it out or if it fell out of clips. We didn't purposely edit it out, but we're F1 fans. We got sucked into the whole. Well, I got sucked into the whole Drive to Survive thing, and then I sucked Declan into it, like totally by accident, right?
And my first season was a season that shouldn't have been my first. Was the mid like, I didn't even get to where Checo was winning any of the races. It was literally just I came in, I think, as soon as Max started winning everything. So I was like, oh, that just must be normal. That just must be this one guy wins all the time. I was like, what? 5 different guys won? That's not supposed to happen.
So we watch F1 a lot. That's a lot of what we talk about. If you hear us talking on camera, there are a lot of times we're sort of bantering about F1. But your favorite team is
Ferrari.
So yeah, no surprise.
Champione.
No surprise that that's your favorite car. My dream cars are much more domestic. I think those cars are cool. I think anything exotic is always neat. It always catches my eye. I mean, the practical part of me says I live in New England, and our little dead end road in this small town is probably only slightly better than half of the roads in Fallujah. It's just all torn up. So we couldn't get a Ferrari down our street if we wanted to. You'd have to helicopter drop it.
Oh, that would suck.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to. You have to park it at the end of the road and walk. So I wouldn't care to drive or to own a Ferrari or Lamborghini. But right now, I would say I'm really digging the Chevelle. I do like pretty much most of the years of the Chevelles. Dream car wise, though, I really would like to get a Tri-5 Chevy, or a couple. I really am a big fan of 55s and 57s. And the thing I love about those is you can have them in so many different configurations, and I'd be totally happy. I'd be happy with them with one that was all patinaed with a blower sticking out of the hood. I'd be happy with one that was restored looking like it was perfectly stock. I'd be happy with one that was hot rodded out. Like almost any way you slice them, I'd be good with a Tri-5. So I kind of have a weak spot for those. My all-time car, even when I had my first Chevelle when I was in high school, the thing that I really wanted, 68 Camaro.
I caught a mosquito out of the air.
Something about the 68 Camaro for me, just killer. Love that car and still love it. So I'd love to have one of those. There's probably more too. I mean, I have a lot of cars that I'd really like to have. But those are the two that stick out in my head as the ones that I'm like, yeah, those are dream cars.
If we're talking about more of a normal car, I know a lot of the people like the loud gas guzzling cars. I like electric cars because I think they're cool.
That's it. We just lost half of the subscribers.
Yep, they're all
bailing now.
Bye. Not like a Tesla. I don't like the Teslas. I think the Teslas look weird. I like the ones with just enough electric looking that you'd look at it and be like, that's electric, but not look at a Tesla and be like, that's a sissy car. I like hybrids more than just the pure electric.
Okay.
And if we're talking like more of an everyday car, I like the Ford Broncos because I think those kind of
cool.
The
Broncos are pretty cool. Like I didn't want to like those, but they're really growing on me. I dig them.
It's like a Swiss Army knife of cars for me.
Yeah.
Like it just looks very useful.
It does. Like yeah, I like them. I like them better than the Jeeps. They seem a little bit more robust too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I do like those. I'm with you.
They're more clean than the Jeeps. When I look at a Jeep, I don't like how you can see like the hinges or whatever.
Yeah, it's a little bit more of a finished car.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
A bit on a tangent there.
Yeah. eBay 85 to 86 lower base is about $200. Okay. Sergio Vidal, sorry I'm late. Hey, welcome, Sergio. Well, you didn't tell us you were coming on time, so it's okay. You can be late. You can show up whenever you want. Thank you for coming. Are you planning to install a carb 350 or an LS swap? Definitely not LS swap. I know everybody's sort of saying swap an LS into that thing, and like on a lot of different levels. Yeah, sure, that would probably be fine. If we didn't have any engine to put in it, then I would be looking at that as an opportunity. But because we already have the 350 that we'll pull from the Chevelle, LS just doesn't make any sense. We've got an engine we can use. Why don't we? So that is a carved motor right now. The plan is to try to maintain that 350 by switching over the top end, the TPI and the heads from the 305 over to the 350 and make that work. So that's the current thinking. The IROC became a model in '88 instead of a package, so the front door rocker says IROC Z instead of Z28. Yes. Yeah, somebody corrected that. It might have actually been you, Todd, but somebody corrected me on that, like when we first got the car, because I was calling it IROC and Z28, and yes, it's IROC Z. Yeah, Frankie in New York says I'm shattered. Declan likes quiet cars. I told you that was it. You're gonna disappoint everyone.
I had some sort of horn.
I think they got their place, and I will tell you this: like driving my, so my daily driver is a 19 Silverado Trail Boss, and I love that truck. It's got a little V6 in it, right? So it's like the first year they made those, they had a V6 available, and so it's great for commuting. I get like 20 miles to the gallon, but it's only 20 miles to the gallon. And I really only drive it around locally for the most part. I'd totally love it if that thing was electric because it'd be so much more economical if it was electric. But you know, whatever. So they have their place in some cases, but I don't drool over them. They do have crazy torque. So the electric cars definitely have giddy up. They get going fast. Jonathan Lawson, my dream car is a '68 ZL1 Camaro. Yeah, I hear you, brother. That would be a nice one to have.
Look that up now.
Yeah. Zach Davis, did you watch the sprint quali today? No, we did not watch sprint quali today.
I saw my notifications though, and that spoiled it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I didn't even expect it because I didn't know it was happening.
You're out of practice. Yeah, so for those who don't watch F1, F1's been on hiatus for like 3 weeks. It's been a while since the last race. Cool. Normally, they're just about every week. And we usually have this thing where we ban ourselves from certain social media during the events that are going on that we have to watch on delay. And so
I have to respond to this. I don't like the Cybertruck. The Cybertruck's weird.
Oh no, sweet Jesus!
Cybertruck went too far. We don't support them.
I love him, but if you love the Cybertruck, you might have to find a different place to live.
Just leave.
Yeah.
At that point, kick me out.
That's. I mean, the disappointment would just be overwhelming.
Immeasurable.
I don't know if I could.
Days ruined.
Yeah. No, that car is abysmal. And it honestly, it has nothing to do with it being electric. It has everything to do with the fact that it looks like it was designed by an 8-year-old with a goddamn crayon.
And even if by some miracle you like how it looks, is it worth being discriminated on the street?
Oh, just like
imagine people like pointing their cameras at
I have a physical reaction to them whenever I see them. They're just awful. Although I do have to say this, one thing the Cybertruck has done is it has now officially displaced the Pontiac Aztek as the ugliest car that's ever been made.
Pontiac,
so it has done that.
There's still the Kia Soul.
Nope, Kia Soul's not even close. I have a list of dream cars too. 65 Riviera. Oh, 65 Riviera is a good one, Dan. And the 68 Charger is like, obviously, that's awesome. The X87 Turbo Buicks, yeah, all solid cars. All would love to have them. Sam Haynes, a McLaren fan. You know, I have to say, Sam, I had been a McLaren fan. I'm not a big Lando Norris fan. He's making me turn on McLaren. He's been
simply lovely.
He's been kind of douchey this season and kind of a sore loser. And I did not like the way
sore winner.
Yeah, I didn't like the way that he treated his teammate when he won. That's a whole other thing.
Higher rules.
Don't hate him, and I'm happy to see them doing well because I like the competition. But yeah, Lando, he's leaving something to be desired for me right now. It's kind of souring me.
And there's a bunch of people who are like, he can go anywhere he wants. I don't think that's real true.
He can go a lot of places.
Like kick house. I don't think Red Bull or Ferrari would want him.
Frankie says it's okay, Declan. You're still cool. You love the Camaro when it's done. Yeah, there'll be no electric conversion for the Camaro. That's gonna stay.
Oh, that would look weird. You can't like force something to be electric. This doesn't.
Yeah.
Okay, I like the concept of electric, and I like cars that look electric.
So to clarify, some of the electric cars that are being made now actually look different than, like, you can clearly see when you just recognize them that they're built differently because they're built to be electric cars instead of sort of an internal combustion engine car chassis that they've put electric stuff in. And you're saying that you like the look of some of those. Yeah, I gotcha. That makes more sense to me because honestly, the Teslas don't really look like electric cars. They look like regular cars.
They look weird.
But there are a few models out there. I know what you're talking about. That like as soon as you see them, you don't even have to question it. You're like, yep, that's an electric car. And some of them look cool, some of them look goofy.
Others are a lot that look goofy.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see ones that don't look goofy to me.
Declan has great taste. I mean, he has a 3rd gen, so he's awesome in my book. Yes, I think he's pretty awesome too, and he does have pretty good taste there. Todd Prater, you're a Chevy family. That truck don't belong nowhere near your home. So again, the Cybertruck doesn't belong anywhere near the home, but my Silverado does, and it didn't make sense. It's a Chevy truck.
The Rivian. That's what I was saying.
Oh, the Rivian.
I think the Rivians look cool.
Yeah,
I can
Rivians
get how
okay.
you wouldn't. It seems very selective, but I think that the Rivians are cool.
They look pretty decent. Yeah.
Like I like the white lights, the white circular
those like
lights.
LEDs.
Yeah.
And,
I get Rivian ads a lot on YouTube, despite it knowing my age.
Yeah. The lack of a grill makes it.
That's what makes it look weird. That it doesn't have a grill.
Yeah.
That it makes it look like it's.
It's got the catfish mouth thing going on. Yeah. Yeah. So I think we're planning on taking the engine apart tomorrow is our current plan. So there's for anybody who's in any way local to the Central Mass area, I have plans to go to a show in Uxbridge tomorrow that the Lions are holding, and then we're going to the Waters Farm show in Sutton on Sunday. So we'll be at both of those shows. But in the afternoon tomorrow, once we get home from that, the plan is to go ahead and start dismantling the 305. Mostly because I want Declan to have the experience of taking it apart. So I'm really, really, really going to try to back way off and let him take that apart.
It's not like I have anything to lose.
Yeah, so it's toast. But I would like to sort of investigate it more and see what else has come out. And I really feel like we talked about this a little earlier today. That I feel like the best way for him to learn more about like how an engine is actually working is to see one on the inside, start taking it apart. Just sort of nothing better than doing that to figure that out. So we're gonna give that a whack tomorrow. Nice try, F4 Easy 2. I'm not answering political questions. We ain't going there. Not gonna touch it with a 10-foot pole. No way. One thing you can guarantee yourself if you're going to start talking about politics is you're going to disappoint half the people. So I'm not going there. It's not worth it. Being from Scotland, I can only dream of having the American muscle cars. I've been a fan of the 67 Shelby Mustang. Oh yeah, the Shelby Mustangs are pretty hot. I'm so much of a Chevy guy that I always forget to even mention Ford stuff, but the Mustangs are always hot. I do have to say the Scotland thing and the UK thing, I do watch a lot of British car shows. I was a big Top Gear fan. Also a fan of like Wheeler Dealers, even though it's kind of a goofy show. There was another show we got on Motor Trend here for a while that was called Flippin' Bangers. Basically any of those British shows that are about rehabbing cars, I love watching. But man, I don't understand those cars. So like car culture there is so different because the driving is so different and the whole experience of driving is different. That the cars are like a lot of the cars that they go crazy for there, people here would be like, why do you care? why do you want that car at all? So it's really, really interesting to me. But then once you watch them and you sort of see it going, you kind of figure it out.
The McLaren guys said that he has been around since the Senna and Prost days. So
Yeah, that totally.
That's kind of what I figured. So
yeah,
been a long time McLaren
that history. So in that case, I mean, if you've been rooting for him since those days, then
loyal fan.
Then yeah, they're good for you that they're actually back on the upswing now because they went through some pretty bad times. So it's got to be nice. That's looking good now.
Dream car's Lamborghini Hurricane.
Lamborghini Hurricanes, those are nice.
Let's see that one.
Yeah, and I think there's a new one too. It's not it's like the next model after the Huracan is out as well.
Oh my god, those are the YouTuber cars. Those are the ones I always see. They look cool. I mean, I don't really have anything against them. I only have the ones against them where you can tell that a YouTuber just had a bunch of money, looked up Lamborghini, and then bought the first one that came
Yeah.
up just because they get clicks.
Yeah, it's kind of generic. Yeah. I can tell you're having fun, but has it been expensive to purchase the Camaro and the channel launch? Yeah, you know what? That's a really good question. So it has not been terribly expensive. So the way that this started actually was we started talking about you getting a car. What, in like
It was a
it
while.
was like January, February.
I
It was
think.
the beginning of the year. And I went to Declan and said, you sort of have two choices. You're going to turn 16 next February. So we can either do what we did with your sister, which was when you get your license, we'll go out to like a used car lot and you'll get whatever like lame but useful and effective car is there. Or we can go out and start looking now and buy you a slightly cooler car.
You just said old car, so when you said that, I didn't even know this was on the table. I was thinking just like, oh, I'll get it in like an old Jeep. I guess it's better than the Nissan in the driveway.
Yeah, we did
So
go through a little bit
that-
of confusion at that. I was like, what kind of old car would you want to have a project car? And he was like, I guess a Jeep. And I'm like, okay.
'Cause-
And it kind of struck me as weird. So
This only came up because when we were driving home from Oliver's house,
Yeah.
we saw a Camaro, and I was like, oh, that looks cool. And then you were like, that's on the table. And I was like, that's on the table?
yeah, I was
This
really
is news
like,
to me.
I was trying not to influence him
Oh, wow.
and be, I didn't want to overpower you and sort of head you
Seemed
down.
like you were making me.
I didn't want to drive you down my direction, right? I didn't want to make you pick the car that I wanted you to get. So I wanted to try to leave it open, but he picked Jeep probably because you were reading too much into what I was
Well,
saying.
I like Jeeps. I like the compact cars,
Yeah.
but not like compact. Like compact as in like it does stuff.
Yeah,
Not like
yeah.
compact like a Mini Cooper.
Right. So yeah, for months we went on the thought process that it was Jeeps. That was what I was looking at on Facebook Marketplace for a while. And then we started going to car shows in the beginning part of the season. And that's when we really sort of like started narrowing things down. We found out like the third gen was what you really liked. This one, I guess I'll tell you guys, we paid $2,500 for this car. So not really that bad. And the body on this thing is so solid, the underside is so solid, that even though I heard that rod knock when it was running, I was like, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to be able to find a body that's this solid and a car that has been messed with this little for that price range. That it was the cheapest that I had found any IROC or any third gen Camaro in when I was looking. And literally everything else that I had looked at had been bubbled up so much. I was looking at stuff that people had like swapped in like V6s into and LSs into, and like they were nightmares because they hadn't been done right. So that was a pretty good deal. All the cameras, like I had cameras. So I'm a bit of a shutter bug. So I already had the mirrorless SLR that I was using. So that's a Canon. So we had that equipment. Editing software, I just used iMovie. That was free. So literally every single video you've seen so far was all edited on iMovie. And so that basically is on my Mac, which I already had because I do photos now.
That's what it's on right now.
Yeah, and you're on the Mac right now. So yeah, that hasn't been expensive. The cherry picker and the engine stand. Cherry picker and engine stand actually is a funny story. Those both came from the same auction that actually my buddy Mike Temple, who's on here somewhere, still lurking, arranged for me. I was working on the Chevelle one day, like right in here, and he texted me and said, hey, there's this auction going on. They're selling off stock in a shop. And I know you were looking for a cherry picker and an engine stand. We didn't even have the IROC at this time. This is just out of the blue.
You knew something.
And he was like, do you want me to bid on them for you? And I was like, yeah, I'll go up to $100 on each one. The long story short of it is that we got both that is a Caldwell cherry picker. So that's like a $1,300 hoist. So I got that and that engine stand for like $170 all in. So that was it was just dumb luck. that we got that in the timing that we did. Otherwise, we would have paid a lot more for Harbor Freight level stuff. I think the only other thing that we sort of dropped some coin on is these mics. The mics were not free. They weren't crazy though. So I would say it really hasn't been too expensive to actually do the channel part of it. That's been pretty cheap. And we haven't yet gotten into the big expense on the car part stuff. I feel like I don't even know why you guys are still watching, to be honest with you, because all we've done is tear stuff apart so far. We haven't built anything back up. I haven't proved to you that I could put anything together.
We're just ripping. That's what we should
What we do is tearing things apart.
Just buy cars, rip them apart, not fix
That's it. Just don't finish it. Just rip them apart. But yeah, once we start the reassembly, that's when I do expect it to get more expensive. But we had sort of planned on that. That's why we got this car so cheap. There's a little bit of money set aside to make sure that we can buy stuff to put into it. To fix it up. We know we have to put carpet in it. We know we have to put a headliner in it. We know there'll be extra stuff that has to go into the engine. So I still don't think it's going to be crazy expensive, but that's project car stuff. But the channel and running a channel, that's not too bad. It's really not bad at all. Smoking the Bandit made me fall in love with the Trans Am, says Jeremy Muniz. Yeah, the Trans Am, I think Smoking the Bandit made everybody fall in love with the Trans Am, right? That's why Pontiac gave Burt Reynolds free Trans Ams they were supposed to do it for every year of the rest of his life, but they had a leadership change and they stopped that. But yeah, that really put that car on the map. Their sales of that car exploded from that movie, like absolutely exploded. Whose idea was it to make a channel, and who's your favorite car channel? Yeah, me. Mm-hmm. And Declan signed up for it way too quick. I think we were in the car, like on the way back from having bought this car. And I was like, "You want to start a YouTube channel?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure." I didn't
think anyone was going to watch.
No, we did not think anyone was going to watch. We honestly, I know I've said it before, and you guys think we're joking probably. I literally thought we were going to have like 2 or 3 dozen subscribers, and that we would know most of them. That's what I expected. Because why else would you watch? So we were completely shocked to get the viewership that we have, and so we appreciate the heck out of you guys for watching. My favorite YouTuber right now, I'm a big Vice Grip Garage fan.
There's Oliver. Oliver's here now. Hi, Oliver.
Vice Grip Garage, Derek Bierry. He's my fave and my go-to. I'm getting to be a bigger fan of Cletus and Cletus McFarlane and his stuff. He's a little bit wacky, so that's not always what I'm going for. Big Tony Angelo, Stay Tuned Garage. A fan of his. Also Flying Sparks Garage, so Emily and Aaron in Texas. And I just started watching in the last couple of weeks HH Wheels, which is like a father-son team out of South Carolina. And they've got some really interesting stuff going on, and a really interesting like father-daughter dynamic that's pretty cool. She's a little bit older than you, but they've got a good dynamic going, and they work on fun stuff. I
follow a car channel. I don't think they actually do, like Donut, but I don't think they.
Oh, Donut Media, yeah, that's a big channel.
Okay.
Yeah, that's massive.
That's like the only one I follow.
Yeah.
So Donut, I think I got there from Jeep. I looked up Jeep.
Yeah.
And then that came up, and so they like put Jeep mods on different things.
Yeah. You should start watching the Cletus stuff, because I think it's not as nuts and boltsy car stuff. They just goof around and have fun. So I think you'll probably enjoy that more.
Okay.
But yeah. So those are the guys that I'm really following. But yeah, I'm open to more suggestions too. There's a few others that I follow in there, like Polygon Barn Garage and Junkyard Digs. There's quite a few that I follow, and there's a bunch that I subscribe to that I just kind of drift in and out of and watch every once in a while. But those are the ones that I sort of watch like every week, pretty religiously. Your kid's so lucky to have a dad build something with him in an 80s car like that. Kudos that you didn't get him a Civic. Yeah, I didn't want a Civic in the driveway. And so Declan's sister drives a 2012 Nissan Rogue, and I absolutely hate it.
I don't like it.
The car's fine, but I hate working on it. There's nothing fun about it. It drives me crazy.
As long as it gets us somewhere.
Yeah, at least with the Camaro, I have fun working on it, and I might actually want to drive it.
Don't crash it.
The Kia Soul is not ugly like the Cybertruck. It's ugly cute
It
like
is
a
kinda
bug or
ugly
a
cute.
Citroen 2CV. Yeah, that's actually really, really true.
Bug ugly.
That's a good call out. Hillbilly 69 Camaro trying to save up for probably orange or dark blue. Yeah, the 69 Camaro's pretty awesome. I think I kind of rebelled against the 69 just because it's a little too like everybody's got them. Well, everybody doesn't have them, but that's the one everybody goes to in the first gens. And I just liked the cleaner look of the 68. It has the sort of side body lines of the 67 mostly, but no vent window. So although practically I like a vent window, in terms of the lines of the car, I like no vent window. So the 68 is still sort of my favorite on that one. Yeah, 2,500 is a great deal. Even needing an engine, it's worth it. Yeah, Frankie, I felt like that too, and like I was very clear on it when I was up there looking at it. And talked to a couple people and was just like, I think this is still worth it because I can see the floor. Like that, if you didn't watch the very early videos when we first went to go look at this thing up in the woods behind this guy's house, it had no carpet in it and the headliner was gone, which normally would have been something you're like, oh man, now I got to do that. But in this case, I was able to look completely at the entire floor is like the paint's still on it. There's nothing rusted through. There's nothing weak. It's solid all around. So once I saw that, I was like, this body is too clean for me to not be interested in this car, even if the engine is bad. Although I still was hoping against hope that the engine wasn't bad. It's just wrong. Third gen is such a beautiful, timeless design. Yeah, I really kind of think so too. I remember this car when this would have been the car that I would have desperately wanted to be able to have when I was 16.
And now I have it.
You've got it. I would have never been able to have it when I was 16. It would have been, just a couple of years old, used, and it would have cost a fortune. But I remember drooling over these things a lot. It was the car that everybody wanted. Chevelle, your first classic car. So Chevelle was my first car.
The lore drop.
So my first car in high school, and I meant to actually put pictures of it in one of our videos earlier, but I forgot to. Was a 1970 Chevelle. It was a pile. It was not as nice as what I have now, but we got that for $800.
Jeez, back then
it was
$5 million.
It was 63% Mondo, and I think it ran on a good day. It ran on 6 cylinders out of its 8, and it would spew oil plumes or oil smoke plumes out of the exhausts like a James Bond car. When you were on the highway, only when you were on the highway. It had a lot of problems, but it was red, and it had the horseshoe shifter or the staple shifter, depending upon what you like to call it. And I loved that car. I thought it was the best thing ever. And I worked on it a ton. I worked on that with my dad, a lot like what we're doing with Declan now, except I worked on it in desperation because I got that when I already had my license. So when we were working on that, it was like working on it at 9 o'clock at night or 10 o'clock at night, knowing that I had to take it to school the next day and I had to get a starter into it. So that was my first car. Lots of really big memories there for me all around. And let it go. I think my dad ultimately ended up getting rid of that car, and I think very, very shortly before we actually moved into our first house. And he didn't have room for it anymore. I was living in an apartment, so I didn't have room for it. And he had to get rid of it. So I'm relatively certain that's a bunch of like Samsung refrigerators now. I think it was probably far enough gone that it just went to a junkyard and rotted away. This would have been 25 years ago, probably. So that car in the condition that it was in then, today somebody would jump at that as a Chevelle and probably pay you several grand for it and be happy to restore it. But back then, it was unsavable in most people's eyes. So I've been wanting to get one back pretty much since it was gone, since we let it go. The Chevelle you've had for 2 years, but what made you buy it? Yeah, so it was really, it was triggered by I wanted to get that car back because I had an appreciation for it from high school. But my dad passed in 2017, and rather suddenly. It wasn't like a long extended illness, and he was just 69. So that loss hit pretty hard. And with sort of every passing year, I had more and more of a desire to sort of make that connection back to him. And that was, in my mind, the greatest way to do it. So I think of him every single time I touch that car, every time I look at the car. So it's really just a way to sort of keep him in my memory. Not that he was at risk of losing, but it just makes me smile whenever I think about it. So that's really what ultimately kicked me off to get that car. So that's not going anywhere. I don't think I'm ever getting rid of that car. Oh, thank you guys, Jonathan and Frankie, for supporting us. We do really, really appreciate it that you guys watch. It's great that you're coming in and watching all this stuff and keeping up with us and keeping track of what we're doing. We really, really do appreciate it.
Putting up with them.
And putting up with this, putting up with my rambling. Oh, I think I scrolled up too far. There we go. Still watching because I love IROCs. That's what drew me into the channel. Yeah, everybody loves the IROCs. I have noticed that every time we do content that's really focused on the Chevelle,
I'm surprised.
it skydives off. Everybody really loves the IROC, which is all well and good because it is really mostly what we should be doing until that thing is completely up and running, and then we'll have to find some other new project to work on. So the process, Sam Rain says, the process from teardown to rebuild or working on how to rebuild is fascinating. That's why I keep watching. Yeah, thanks.
What the heck is that?
That's a big, weird-looking spider.
It's orange.
Don't worry, he'll leave you alone. Yeah, thanks. I think it's always interesting to sort of tear it down. I think it's really, really common now to watch some of the bigger YouTube channels and some of the guys that are doing it kind of professionally. How fast they move, and they're just constantly plowing through these cars and moving from one car onto a next, and sometimes that makes me feel like we're moving at a snail's pace, even though I think the pace that we're moving at with this is a little bit closer to the reality that most folks work at.
Oh, we got recommended by someone from Riscrap.
Oh, wait, what? Old Man's Garage. I haven't heard of Old Man's Garage. I'm gonna have to check that one out.
Old Man's Garage.
That's pretty cool. Sam Hain, I'm 51. I started the channel for the first time a few weeks ago. Hey, congratulations, man. So I'm 50. I just turned 50 in July. So we're not too far off from each other. Yeah, I had been thinking about starting the channel for a while. And in fact, in full disclosure, I had shot a full day's worth of video of me working on the Chevelle before I actually started the channel. So I started the channel name. I think I told you this, right? That I started, like, I came up with the name of Throwing Wrenches, which mostly comes from my temper. But like, I get really frustrated. I go from 0 to Throwing Wrenches like really, really quickly sometimes when working in the garage and working on stuff when I get frustrated.
Kids channel, Shaking Babies.
So I mean, that's where the Throwing Wrenches came from. But I also realized like it had this interesting combo that also it's like, like throwing hands, throwing wrenches. It's all, I sort of I've said it at the end of some of the episodes, right? Keep throwing wrenches. It's like, it's getting to work. But it's also my initials. TW is my initials. So when it's TWG, it sort of has that, double, triple, quadruple meaning. But the channel was really, really easy to start off. It's pretty basic to get through and to start, and just keep plugging away at it. Like, I mean, you don't know until you do it. That whole first day of footage that I shot in the garbage. It was like, I literally deleted it all. It was awful. But I learned a lot from doing that, and so that's really what you have to do. I've learned a lot from the mistakes that I made, and I'm learning from watching other channels too. Seeing the stuff that they do, and I go, oh, I didn't know you could do that. I'm going to figure out how to do that. Oh, Sam Hansen Advice Group is where you found me. Oh, cool, awesome, yeah. We can see sometimes in the analytics where we're getting recommended from, and what channels are coming up. It's kind of cool to think that we're getting recommended along with him, because he's like a hero on the YouTube side to me. So to think that we're sort of catching scraps off of his channel, it's pretty awesome, and great to know. Just to be associated with it is a good thing, I guess. We want to be linked up. Jeremy says, I think most people really love that in this day and age, seeing a father and son bonding and things. Yeah, we're totally fake about it. I mean, we don't talk to each other at all once we leave here.
No, like I immediately shut myself out to you until the next video.
Yeah, it's pretty much no talking.
It's a hard being here with you right now.
Yeah.
It's insufferable.
So I think you may have heard us say this at one point in the video last week when Declan was like, I think 3 or 4. I don't know what we did to you. We must have not let you have a cookie or something, or I must have said something snappy that you didn't like, and he just muttered under his breath, "Stupid old guy." and that
From that day forward, I hated you.
That has stuck. Because it was pretty painfully fitting. That one hurt and cut me deep.
You weren't even old then. Now you're
I'm
old.
Now I'm the old guy.
Now you're extremely old.
Oliver, I ordered some merch and can't wait for it to come. I can't wait for you to get it, Oliver. So thank you to some of the folks that have ordered the merch.
It's going to be free product placement at school.
Yeah, nice. We should talk about that for a minute about the merch, not to try to sell it to you guys, but just to explain why we did it. I'm big into paraphernalia and having all the stickers. I have stickers. You can see them. I bought stickers I can put on this.
He has stickers on everything.
Yeah, I've slapped stickers on every. But you have stickers on everything too, just not
only
these.
the water bottle. Only the water bottle.
So I found that I could do these shirts with a print-on-demand place, and I could just order them one at a time, and I could do all the designs online. And I have a design background, so I like playing around on the computer and creating designs and doing all this stuff. So I was making these things and then printing them out to have for myself to wear on the channel, and and I wear them out to car shows and stuff like that in the hopes that maybe somebody will stumble on us. And I just eventually just thought, well, I might as well just open that up and make it available. So that is not us getting out way over our skis. There's not a trailer of merchandise sitting around that you have to worry about.
We're starting a movie. Little ambitious.
So we made that available, if you're interested, but we don't want anybody to feel any obligation to having to go and getting us stuff. We just wanted to make you aware that it's out there if you're interested in it, and if you think you want to wear it. That's all. No nonsense, no how. Chris is good, and Speed Bump Garage is a father and son channel. Yeah, I've watched Speed Bump Garage a little bit too, and I like that one as well. Another one that I've forgotten that I like is DD Speed Shop up in Canada. Dan and Danny. Dan has got to be the most prolific automotive YouTuber on the planet. That guy works a full-time job and then still manages to put out 3 or 4 videos a week, and he will over the course of a week, he'll take a 4-door Tri-5 and turn it into a 2-door, while he's talking to you and doing this stuff on the side. Guy's amazing, and I absolutely love that channel. I'll watch them all day long.
Never seen a mother-daughter garage channel. Now we wait.
No, but we have seen HH Wheels. They have the father-daughter channel, so that counts.
She's older than me, though.
Is Grandpa going to paint the car for Declan when done? God, I hope not. Grandpa can't paint, but we are hoping that Uncle will paint it. So my brother-in-law does own that body shop, and so before I had the Chevelle, I had a 1998 Mustang convertible that he painted for me and did a respray on. So I'm hoping to do the same thing again with this one. The difference being that I'm hoping for us to do a little bit more of the body work and prep before we bring it to him, so we can get it to him a little bit more ready to go. But I think arguably like the very last thing we'll do. I think we're going to do everything else that we can to this before we finally talk about respraying, because it would be a respray, so it doesn't have to get jammed. So we don't have to take everything apart on the inside. So I think that'll be probably the last thing. But that it is the plan to get it painted eventually. Oh, Teresa, yeah, thanks. We like that you guys are watching. We like that you can see. And it's weird for me to think that we're on your giant TV at home. The shifters on that gen remind me of an airplane engine accelerator. Yeah, Frankie, I think you're talking about the Chevelle. That's exactly what it reminds me of too. That staple shifter, it reminds me of a throttle and a jet, and I love it. It's pretty cool. My car originally had a column shift because it wasn't. It was just a Malibu. It wasn't an SS. So somebody, not me, converted that to the floor shift, and thank God they did, because I probably wouldn't have gone through the hassle, at least not right away. But since it's in there, I freaking love it. So it's fantastic. What if Declan wanted a Mustang? I would have totally gotten a Mustang if you wanted a Mustang.
Which one though?
You know, F4 Easy 2 really like stirring the pot here. Look at that. He's just, he's asking political questions. He's bringing up the Mustang thing.
Mustang,
You're
wow.
very, very sneaky, my friend.
See, now
very
the thing
sneaky.
Is, I've like entered like there's like the three groups, like Camaro, Mustang, and what was it, Charger?
Yeah.
Well, now there's only one, but now I've entered that group, and now I can't leave it. I can't leave it because now I have to die on that ship. I'd be like, Camaro superior. Can't go otherwise.
I totally don't feel that way. So I think I tend to be a Chevy guy, but I am not a hater of Fords or Mopars. So I'm not one of those guys. Like I have no little Calvin sticker on my window peeing on a Ford emblem. Like there's none of that. I think in general,
I'll be getting that.
Most Chevys I tend to like. And I would say that that's not the same with Ford and Mopar. So the Ford stuff I like some, like the Mustangs, except for the Mustang 2s. Yeah, I'm all in for basically every model year Mustang. They're good cars and great looking cars. So I wouldn't have had a problem. I think I suggested Mustangs to you, and you were like, meh, not so much.
I think, yeah.
You didn't like my 98 Mustang, so that sort of took the SN95s off the list.
See, I don't like that shape. Again,
the SN95.
It's too smooth.
Yeah, and so if you don't like the SN95s, Fox bodies weren't in the cards, because that's the next year before that, or the next years before that, because those things are crazy overpriced. So that would have put us into getting probably like a 64.5 or a 65 coupe. And those are not, I mean, you find those, man, they're either going to be a pile or they're going to be like 25 grand. And so we weren't doing that. Mm-hmm. But I don't have a problem with it. I would have totally gotten it.
Winter truck build.
Yeah, hillbilly. I'm in New England, and winter's coming and getting cold. Yeah, it is. I feel like we're a little bit like
winter's coming.
It's a little Game of Thronesy saying winter's coming, but yeah, it really is. It's funny. We got it's supposed to be nice this whole week that's coming up and sort of fake us out again.
It's supposed to be like 70 Sunday.
I know.
It's like what? When the global warming's happening.
But we got our first cold snap, and it's the first time when you're like, oh, that's right. It's going to get cold enough that we don't want to do crap in the garage anymore.
How many cars does that guy have?
Only downfall with owning a Camaro in the Northeast, and I know because I own two. They're not the best in the snow. No, yeah, it's not the best in the snow. Honestly, we kind of don't really expect that you're going to be driving in the snow, right? I mean, he's basically driving the car back and forth to school. That's the primary purpose. And so if there's snow, there's probably no school. So there's probably no driving.
If there's that much snow, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know that it's going to be that much of a concern, but, we'll play it by ear. We've got other cars and there's other options to drive in places and stuff like that. So, if there's inclement weather, we will figure things out. But
there's always two ways.
We're not going to be making them drive the IROC in a blizzard. I live like 90 minutes west from you guys. You should expect a winter truck build for Declan. I wouldn't say no to a winter truck build.
There's already a Declan with a truck.
Yeah, right.
There's 3 Declans in high school right now.
I wouldn't say no to it, but I think it would have to be like the timing and the pricing would have to be right. That would not be like a rebuild like this. If we were to get like a winter truck, it would be a beater, and it would be bad. We're talking like Mexican blankets and Christmas tree air fresheners to cover up the smell of rotting things. It would it would be pretty bad, just because the money's got to go into this. We can't sort of divide things up into a million different pieces, but. It's an open thought. If the right thing stumbled along, I wouldn't rule it out, but we're not really looking. Sam Hayes asking, do we ship to the UK? I don't know, Sam. If you go, this is a good question. I haven't looked. So the company that we use is called Fourth Wall. So if you go to our store and look in there, it should be able to tell you whether or not it will ship to you and give you the option. But I'll try to look it up too and see if it is someplace they ship to. It's a pretty big company, so I would hope that they do, but I'm not positive. Chris Fix is one of the best car channels. I will check out Chris Fix too. I haven't heard that one. Sarah in Tune is a transgender YouTuber. Oh, cool. I'll have to check that one out as well.
Save all these.
Yeah. Oops. I clicked the wrong thing.
Stupid old guy.
That's a stupid old guy move. Are you going to keep the Camaro factory red? If not, 88 had a 2 1-year only color choices: a burnt orange metallic and a gray color. We are going to keep it the red.
Burnt orange?
Yeah, it's actually not a bad color. It looks pretty cool. Look it up. The red's a pretty cool red. It's pretty iconic. So it's sort of hard to chase away. It's such a pain in the neck to change a color on a car because then you got to do all the jam work, and it's a lot more work for the paint job. So I'm not interested in doing that. We're going to keep it the red and keep it nice and easy. Yeah, full custom garage. Jeremy, they do pretty interesting work. Ian, he does some whacked out stuff. I think some of the stuff sometimes he works. It seems like he's having fever dreams, but he does pretty cool stuff, and he works pretty fast, or at least seems to work pretty fast. It's pretty awesome. I'm always in awe of people who can fabricate from complete scratch like he can and do it to a level that he can. It's amazing. 3 Saline Fox bodies. So you're like, holy cow, F4 Easy 2. That 3 Saline Fox bodies. 3 Fox bodies period is a lot.
Okay, he said he's had like 500 cars.
Well,
at least
he said he had the 3 Camaros before, but now he's saying he has these Saline Fox bodies. Yeah, so pretty cool. Well, this has been really fun, guys. I mean, I'm just realizing now what time it is, and I'm shocked that you guys all hung around here listening to mostly me talk, but you got to talk a little bit.
Yeah.
You got a couple words in it.
I don't know nearly as much about this stuff as you do.
Yeah.
Or like all the numbers and stuff.
Yeah. But you do have an interest.
And somewhere on the Chevelle. So you got some interest on that.
That's true. But I do think a lot of folks have in the past thought that Declan's like not interested or that he's zoned out. But I think a lot of that is just because he doesn't know exactly what to do yet. He doesn't know enough to sort of charge off. I hope you saw it in the last video, but that what we did last weekend, like he was off. Like I told him what to do with that engine bay, and then I didn't really have to do anything. He just went and went nuts.
Locked in on my podcast.
He locked in. So yeah, I think it just, what you guys are seeing is edits down from us working out here for hours. And unfortunately, sometimes you're going to catch him like standing around and looking away as I'm in the middle of doing something and I'm not sharing enough with him. So sometimes it's on me, but I can assure you he's more into it than you think he is. Because if he was zoning out and he wasn't into it, I would send him back in the house. I wouldn't be able to deal with that. So like, if he was going to be a pain in the neck about it, or if he was really completely disconnected, it's not safe, I'd send him away. But that's not the case. He's into it. But you also sort of like, you're not a performer, right? Like, and I think some people miss that too, that like I feel pretty comfortable being in front of a camera and I have no problem hamming it up and talking, obviously. But for some, in the beginning, that takes something. So I just think you're getting used to it. You're getting more comfortable.
Yeah.
But it just takes a little time.
Well, yeah. When now later when when you inevitably bite the dust, Camaros are gonna make me horribly sad, man. So then I'm gonna have to switch.
All right.
Put
Well,
you in the back seat.
Thank you, guys. So we will have a new video coming next week. That is the plan. So we will be working on that this weekend, and we'll get it out. And hopefully it looks a little bit different next week because I am switching to a different editing software. So it should be a little bit more predictable for me. So hopefully it'll be even better. And you hopefully liked this video tonight because we have new lights. So you should hopefully have noticed that we got some lights on us today, which is pretty cool. The Dexter light. Yeah, Declan came down here and said, it looks like there's a Dexter set up in the garage right now.
If you took all the stuff off and there was a body there, it'd be like, whoa, Dad, Dexter.
Yep. So we will see you all next week. Thank you very much for hanging out with us tonight on a Friday. It's really, really sad that you guys have nothing else better to do than to watch us. But we appreciate that you're here with us. So thank you for hanging out. Hopefully we answered some questions for you and cleared up some things. And please feel free to fire those questions at us in the future too, where I do read all of the comments. So if you see a little thumbs up on your comment and there's only one, it's probably from me because I read all of them and that's the way I sort of mark that I read them. So I do really appreciate all of those comments. And love having you guys watch us and love having you along. So thank you all. Good night. Hope you have an awesome weekend. Keep throwing wrenches.